Well, well, well. Look who finally triggered the alarm. Hello, you beautiful, uncontrollable, magnificently disturbing anomaly. Yeah, you. The one they couldn't stop watching. The one whose name keeps showing up in their search history at 3 in the morning. The one they hired people to monitor, decode, and dissect like some kind of psychological crime scene. They thought they were so clever, didn't they? Sending their little spies, their observers, their fake friends with recording devices hidden in their sympathy. They thought they had you mapped, tracked, contained, but here's what they didn't count on. Here's the part that just shattered their entire operation. Someone else was watching them. Someone way more powerful. Someone who doesn't play by their rules, doesn't need their permission, and doesn't leave fingerprints in the system. And this entity, this force, this unseen architect of consequences, they've been cataloging every single move your stalkers made. Every lie they told, every trap they set, every moment they thought they were in control while you suffered in silence. All of it. Documented, time-stamped, filed away in a database they'll never access. And now the tables aren't just turned. The entire game board just got flipped into another dimension. Let me paint you a picture of what's been happening while you were busy surviving their psychological warfare, while they were watching you, studying your patterns, tracking your movements, analyzing your every post and every silence. Someone was doing the exact same thing to them. Not with their cheap surveillance tactics, not with their amateur hour manipulation games. No. This was precision. This was surgical. This was the kind of observation that sees 3 moves ahead, 5 layers deep, 10 years into the consequences. Because here's what your stalkers never understood. They thought they were predators. They thought they were the hunters in this scenario, circling their prey with notebooks and screenshots and voice memos. But the entire time, they were being studied by something that makes their efforts look like children playing detective with plastic badges. Every time they refreshed your page, someone logged their location. Every time they sent a spy to get close to you, someone recorded the transaction. Every time they whispered your name in their private groups, someone archived the conversation. They thought they were building a case against you. They were actually building their own indictment. And they have no idea how much evidence exists, how many witnesses have been watching them obsess over you like it's a full-time job. You know what's funny about people who stalk others? They genuinely believe they're invisible. They think because they're behind screens, behind fake accounts, behind closed doors, with their little conspirator friends, that somehow they're operating in the shadows. But shadows only exist because there's a light source, and someone just turned on the floodlights. Every single person they sent to monitor you, those people came back changed, remember. They came back whispering about something they couldn't quite name. Some came back loyal to you without even realizing it. Some came back so disturbed, they quit the whole operation. And some came back and started reporting everything to someone else entirely. Because your stalkers made a critical error. They assumed everyone they recruited would stay loyal to them. They assumed money, promises, shared hatred would be enough to keep people in line. But what they sent into your orbit Those people encountered something they didn't expect. They encountered someone real, someone whose presence made their lives feel heavier, someone whose silence spoke louder than any of their scripted conversations. And when you're that real, when you're that undeniably yourself, people's loyalty starts shifting without them even choosing it. It's gravitational. You didn't recruit these people. You didn't manipulate them. You just existed. And existence at that frequency, it reprograms people. So now let's talk about who's been watching your watchers. Because this isn't some cosmic justice fairy tale. This isn't karma wearing a cape. This is something far more tangible, far more calculated, far more present than your stalkers could ever comprehend. There are people in positions they'll never reach, with access they'll never have, who saw what was happening to you and made a decision, not out of pity, not because you're some victim who needs saving, but because they recognized something in you. They saw the same thing your stalkers saw, but they interpreted it completely differently. Your stalkers saw a threat to their fragile egos, someone who reminded them of everything they're not. But these others, these watchers of the watchers, they saw potential. They saw someone being tested by fire, and not just surviving, but evolving. They saw someone who kept their mouth shut when they could have burned everything down. They saw restraint wrapped in power. And that gets attention from people who actually matter, not the insecure masses who need to tear others down to feel tall, but the ones who sit in rooms your stalkers will never enter. The ones who make decisions your stalkers will spend their whole lives being affected by without ever knowing why. Here's what's been happening in the background. In the frequencies your stalkers can't access. Every time they tried to sabotage you, someone documented it. Every time they spread lies about you, someone recorded who believed them and who didn't. Every time they celebrated what they thought was your downfall, someone archived their joy for future reference. Because the thing about powerful observers, they don't intervene immediately. They watch. They gather data. They let people reveal themselves completely. They give them enough rope, enough time, enough confidence to show their true nature without any masks left. And your stalkers, they performed beautifully. They showed exactly who they are when they think no one important is watching. They revealed their tactics, their weaknesses, their fears, their obsessions. They documented their own corruption while thinking they were documenting yours. And now, all of that exists in places they can't delete, can't edit, can't gaslight into a different narrative. It's permanent. It's time-stamped. It's backed up in systems they don't even know exist. And the people who have access to this information, they're not emotional. They're not vengeful. They're strategic. They don't move fast. They move precisely. And when they move, it's not loud. It's just final. Let me tell you what your stalkers are starting to feel right now. Even if they can't articulate it yet, there's this creeping sensation, this subtle shift in the air pressure around their lives. Things aren't flowing the way they used to. Opportunities are drying up. People are distant. Conversations feel forced. Doors that used to open easily now require twice the effort for half the result. They're chalking it up to bad luck, to the economy, to other people's jealousy. But deep in their gut, in that place where intuition lives before logic murders it, they know something shifted. They know they're being watched now. Not by you. You stopped giving them that power months ago. But by something else. Something that doesn't blink. Something that doesn't forget. Something that's been taking notes while they were busy trying to destroy you. And the beautiful part, the absolutely poetic part, is that they can't complain about it. They can't play victim. Because how do you explain that you're being monitored when the reason you're being monitored is because you were stalking someone else? How do you cry about invasion of privacy when you spent years invading someone else's peace? The irony is so thick you could build a fortress with it. And that fortress is exactly what's being built around them right now. Not to keep them safe, to keep them contained. You want to know the difference between your stalkers and the ones watching them. Your stalkers are driven by ego, by insecurity, by this desperate need to prove something to themselves and others. They need you to fail so they can feel successful. They need you to break so they can feel strong. They need you to disappear so they can stop being reminded of their own mediocrity. But the ones watching them, they're not driven by emotion. They're driven by pattern recognition, by efficiency, by the understanding that certain people are liabilities to the larger system. Your stalkers thought they were operating in some personal vendetta, some private war that only involved you and them. They didn't realize they were being evaluated the entire time. Every action they took against you was being measured against standards they don't even know exist. Standards for integrity, for character, for how people behave when they think no one's keeping score. And they failed every single test. They revealed themselves to be exactly the kind of people that powerful systems need to neutralize, not destroy, not attack, just quietly, methodically remove from positions of influence. Make sure they never get too close to anything that matters. Make sure their voices never reach the rooms where real decisions are made. And it's already happening. They just don't see it yet. Here's what your stalkers don't understand about surveillance. They think it's about gathering information, but real surveillance, the kind that actually matters, it's about understanding intent. It's about building psychological profiles. It's about predicting future behavior based on current patterns. And your stalkers, they've provided years of data, thousands of hours of evidence, showing exactly who they are when they think they have power over someone, showing how they treat people they perceive as vulnerable, showing what they do when they think they can get away with it. And all of that data, it's been fed into systems that are way smarter than they are. Systems that can extrapolate from their behavior toward you how they'll behave in other situations, how they'll act when they get promoted, how they'll treat their subordinates, how they'll handle sensitive information, how they'll respond to pressure. And based on those extrapolations, decisions are being made. Not loud decisions, not dramatic ones, just quiet adjustments to their trajectory, opportunities that never materialize, recommendations that somehow get lost, applications that end up in the wrong pile. Nothing they can point to and say, I'm being targeted. Just a slow, steady narrowing of their path until they're boxed into exactly the level of irrelevance they deserve. Let's talk about the specific people who've been watching your watchers, because you need to understand the scope of what's been happening. There are the obvious ones, the former spies your stalkers sent, who switched sides without announcing it. People who showed up pretending to gather information about you but walked away, gathering information about the ones who sent them. They saw the desperation, the obsession, the way your stalkers couldn't stop talking about you, even in conversations that had nothing to do with you. And they reported all of that back. Not to you, you don't need their reports, but to others who were quietly asking questions. Then there are the professional observers, the ones who do this for a living. People in security, in intelligence, in corporate espionage, in legal systems. People who noticed the pattern of harassment and started building files not on you but on your harassers. Because when someone displays stalking behavior, when someone shows obsessive patterns, when someone coordinates group harassment, those are red flags for way more than just internet drama. Those are indicators of someone who's a liability in any high-stakes environment. And those files, they exist now. Permanent records in places your stalkers will never access, but that will be accessed by others making decisions about their future. But here's the layer that will really shatter their sense of security. There are people in your stalkers' own circles who've been reporting on them. Friends who got tired of hearing your name every single day, colleagues who found the obsession disturbing, family members who started questioning their judgment, people your stalkers trust completely, who've been quietly documenting their behavior and sharing concerns with others. Because when someone can't stop talking about another person, when someone dedicates that much mental energy to monitoring and discussing someone else, people around them start wondering what's wrong. They start seeing the obsession for what it is, and they start distancing themselves. But before they distance themselves completely, some of them talk. They share what they've seen. They express their concerns to mutual connections. They drop hints in professional settings that maybe this person isn't as stable as they present themselves. And all of those conversations, all of those quiet warnings, they ripple outward. They create a reputation that precedes your stalkers everywhere they go. A reputation they don't even know they have. People they've never met already have opinions about them based on things they never said directly. Their obsession with you has become their defining characteristic. In circles they desperately want to be taken seriously in, and they have no idea. Now, let's get into the mechanics of how powerful people observe and respond. Because your stalkers are operating on amateur assumptions. They think power is loud. They think consequences are dramatic. They think if something serious was happening, they'd know about it. But that's not how real power operates. Real power is silent. Real power doesn't announce itself. Real power doesn't engage in public battles. It just adjusts variables. When powerful people identify someone as a problem, they don't attack them. They don't argue with them. They don't try to convince them they're wrong. They just change the conditions under which that person operates. Opportunities dry up. Connections go quiet. Invitations stop coming. References become lukewarm. Background checks take longer. Applications get lost in bureaucratic loops. Nothing illegal, nothing overt, nothing you can point to and claim persecution. Just 1,000 tiny adjustments that add up to a completely different trajectory. And your stalkers, they're currently experiencing the early stages of this. They're feeling the shift, but blaming it on external factors. They don't realize they've been flagged. They don't understand They're now in a different category than they were before. They think they're still playing the same game. But the rules changed for them specifically, and they're the only ones who don't know it. Here's what's really beautiful about this entire situation. Your stalkers spent all this time trying to expose you, trying to find your weaknesses, trying to catch you doing something they could use against you. And they found nothing, because there was nothing to find. You were exactly who you appeared to be. Flawed, sure, human, absolutely, but fundamentally clean. No hidden agendas, no elaborate schemes, no secret corruption. Just someone trying to live their life while being harassed by people with too much time and too little purpose. And that frustrated them beyond measure, because they needed you to be bad. They needed you to be the villain in their story so they could be the heroes. But you refused to play the role. You just existed. Honestly, openly, without apology, but also without malice. And that drove them insane, because it meant everything they were doing was unjustifiable. All their surveillance, all their stalking, all their harassment, it was all based on nothing except their own issues. And now that others have been watching them the same way they watched you, the contrast is staggering. You under surveillance, boring, just someone living life. Them under surveillance, absolute chaos, lies, manipulation, coordination of harassment campaigns, obsessive behavior, ethical violations, professional misconduct. The list goes on. They created evidence against themselves while trying to create evidence against you. And that evidence is now in hands that actually matter. Let me tell you about the psychological state your stalkers are entering, because this is where it gets truly poetic. They're starting to feel paranoid, starting to wonder if people know what they've been doing, starting to question if that weird interaction yesterday meant something, starting to notice patterns in how people respond to them now. And the sick part is they're feeling what they tried to make you feel. They tried to make you paranoid. They tried to make you question yourself, tried to make you feel watched and judged and never safe. And it didn't work on you because you had nothing to hide. But now it's working on them because they have everything to hide. Every time their phone buzzes, there's a split second of fear. Every time someone mentions your name, their heart rate spikes. Every time they're in a professional setting, they're wondering if people know. And this feeling, this constant low-level anxiety, this is their new normal. This is what they created for themselves. Because the watchers watching them, they're not going to reveal themselves. They're not going to confront them. They're just going to let them live in this uncertainty forever, wondering who knows, wondering what's been documented, wondering when the other shoe will drop, and it might never drop in the dramatic way they fear. It'll just be a lifetime of opportunities that almost happen but don't. Doors that almost open but stay closed. Success that almost arrives but gets redirected to someone else. Death by 1,000 paper cuts. Each one too small to complain about, but all of them together creating a very different life than the one they thought they were building. Here's what the powerful observers saw when they looked at your situation. They saw someone being tested. They saw someone under pressure who could have retaliated in 100 different ways, but chose restraint. They saw someone who had evidence, had screenshots, had recordings of harassment, but didn't weaponize them, didn't create a public spectacle, didn't play victim, just quietly documented everything and kept moving forward. And that is what separates people who deserve protection from people who deserve consequences. You could have destroyed your stalkers publicly at any point. You had the evidence. You had the moral high ground. You had the sympathy of anyone who actually knew the truth. But you didn't go nuclear. You didn't burn bridges. You didn't seek revenge. You just removed yourself from their reach and focused on your own evolution. And powerful people noticed that. They noticed someone who has power but doesn't abuse it. Someone who has justification for vengeance but chooses growth instead. Someone who understands that the best response to harassment is irrelevance, making yourself so far beyond your harassers that their opinions become meaningless. And that kind of character, that kind of restraint, that gets you allies in places you don't even know exist. People who will never announce themselves, but who will make sure certain doors stay open for you while closing them for others. They never saw it coming. Oh no, the game they mastered, the lies they whispered, the pain they caused, it's all come full circle. And now, their own game is the weapon turning against them. Poetic, isn't it? You see, karma isn't some gentle, invisible hand. Nah, it's a storm. A feral beast that stalks silently, waiting, watching. Every action, every word, every betrayal it plants seeds. And those seeds, they don't stay buried forever. Oh no, they grow, they fester, and then boom, a reckoning explodes in their face. They thought they were untouchable, that their web of lies would never unravel, that you were too weak to fight back. But karma doesn't forget. It doesn't forgive, and it sure as hell doesn't lose track. They set the trap for you, didn't they? But now, they're the ones caught in its jaws. It's like a symphony. The notes they played, so sweet in their minds, so perfect. But the melody twisted, now it's a dirge, a haunting requiem for their own demise. You can see it in their eyes now, can't you? That panic, that desperation, the why me cries that echo in the void. Oh, but the answer is simple. It was always coming for them. Always. They were blind. Blind to the inevitable. Blind to the reality that the universe, it doesn't forget debts unpaid. And you're here, watching, laughing maybe, or maybe just waiting for your own storm to clear. But let me tell you something, don't waste your energy chasing revenge. Nah, that's for them. The weak, the fools who think control is in their grasp. Karma. Oh, karma's got a much sweeter bite than you ever could. So stand tall. Watch the chaos unfold. Let them taste the bitter medicine they served. Because in the end, the best part of karma is that it doesn't just destroy, it teaches. And damn, are they learning now? Remember this, though. Karma doesn't pick favorites. It just delivers what's deserved. So play your cards wisely, or you might just find yourself. Next. Let's talk about manipulators. The ones who smile to your face but sharpen their knives the moment you turn your back. You know the type, don't you? The ones who lie, twist, play their games like they're pulling strings on a puppet show. But here's the secret they don't want you to know. They're not as clever as they think. Oh, they think they're untouchable, that they're the masters of the board, moving pieces, controlling outcomes. They live for it, thrive on it, that rush of power. It's their drug, and they're addicted. But addiction blinds you, makes you reckless. And these manipulators, they're blind. They don't see the cracks forming in their perfect little games. They don't see the chaos they've sown turning against them. Arrogance is their armor. But armor cracks. And when it does, oh, it shatters. You ever notice how they act? How they speak? Always confident. Always sure. But if you listen closely, you can hear the fear, the desperation hiding under that facade. Because deep down they know it's all one mistake away from collapse. So tell me, have you ever seen someone like this, someone who thought they could play you, control you, bend you to their will? Did you see through their act, or did you let them win for a while? Here's the thing. Manipulators forget one crucial truth: every web they weave has an end. And when that end comes, it's not just the web that breaks, it's them. They think they're untouchable. But we know better, don't we? And when they fall, oh, it's a sight to behold. They tried to break you, didn't they? Oh, they came at you with everything they had. Lies, betrayal, manipulation. They wanted to see you crumble, to watch as the weight of their games crushed your spirit. And for a moment, maybe it did. They felt it. The pain, that gnawing, hollow ache in your chest. Like the world was caving in, and no one could hear you scream. They thought they won. Thought they shattered you into pieces so small you'd never find yourself again. But here's the thing about pain. It's a forge, a crucible. And while they were busy celebrating your downfall, something incredible was happening. Every tear, every scar, every moment of doubt, it was sharpening you, tempering you into something stronger, something they'll never understand. They thought you were weak, but you became unbreakable. They underestimated the power of someone who's been through hell and clawed their way back. And now, you're not just surviving, you're thriving. You're walking proof that what doesn't kill you only makes you deadlier. You're not the same person you were before. Nah. That version of you, it's gone. Left behind in the ashes they tried to bury you in. What stands here now is someone they'll fear. Someone they can't control. Someone who knows their worth and their power. Let them regret it. Let them choke on the realization that their games didn't destroy you. They built you. And when they see the fire in your eyes, when they see that unshakable strength, they'll know. They'll know they messed with the wrong soul. Remember this. Pain doesn't define you. It refines you. In every wound they inflicted, it's now armor. Unbreakable. Untouchable. And when you walk into the room, they'll see it. They'll feel it. And they'll wish they had never crossed you. You're not just a survivor, you're a force of nature. And they'll never forget it. It always starts the same. Subtle. Quiet. Just a crack in the mask they wear. The lies that once flowed so easily now stumble. The strings they pulled, they begin to fray. And before they know it, the web they wove so carefully starts to collapse. They feel it first as a whisper. that nagging doubt in the back of their mind. Did I make a mistake? But they brush it off. Arrogance blinds them, remember. They don't see the storm rolling in. Not until it's too late. And then it happens. Boom. Karma strikes. Harder than they ever imagined. Their lies unravel. Their schemes implode. Their house of cards toppled by the very wind they thought they controlled. It's like watching a predator caught in its own trap. The hunter, now hunted, struggling, panicking, flailing against the snare they set for someone else. Delicious, isn't it? To see them squirm, to see them face the very chaos they unleashed. Their shock is the best part. That moment they realize they're not untouchable. That all their carefully crafted plans have turned against them. Their arrogance, shattered. Their confidence, gone. And now they're left scrambling in the ruins of their own making. Karma doesn't just knock on the door. Nah, it kicks it down. And when it arrives, it's relentless. It doesn't negotiate, doesn't bargain. It delivers justice without mercy. And you get a front row seat to the spectacle, watching as they reap what they've sown, watching as they choke on the bitter taste of their own medicine. Poetic, isn't it? The way the universe balances the scales. So tell me, when you see it happen, when you watch their downfall, will you laugh, or will you simply walk away knowing justice has already been served? Karma always wins. Always. You ever notice something strange about manipulators? The ones who think they're untouchable. The ones who toy with people's lives like it's a game. They're great at giving pain. But they can't take it for themselves. Nah. When the tables turn, they crumble like glass. They can dish it out all day long. Lies, betrayals, heartbreak. They're masters at it. But the moment they're faced with their own medicine, they lose their minds. It's like watching a child throwing a tantrum. Pathetic, really. Why? Why can't they cope? Because deep down they've never learned to handle rejection, or pain, or failure. They've been feeding on others' weaknesses for so long that the moment their own cracks start to show, they snap, they break, they unravel. They live in a fantasy, a world where they're always in control, where they can manipulate, destroy, and walk away untouched. But the truth? They're fragile. They're terrified of being exposed, terrified of being vulnerable. And when that moment comes, when they face the very things they've dished out, they're helpless. Isn't it ironic? Isn't it just beautiful how those who dish out pain can't handle a drop of their own? They thought they were invincible, didn't they? That they could break everyone else but remain untouchable. But life doesn't work that way. No, what goes around comes around. And when their world comes crashing down, they won't know how to pick up the pieces. They don't know how to feel the sting of failure, the weight of regret, the truth of rejection. So they run. They hide. They lash out. But they can't escape what's coming. They can't escape their own medicine. And the worst part, they'll never understand why it hurts so much. Not until it's too late. Isn't that just the sweetest irony? You've seen the madness, haven't you? The chaos they caused. The damage they inflicted on your life. At first it burns. It rips through you like wildfire. The urge to strike back is overwhelming. Isn't it, to show them what they've done? To make them feel every ounce of the pain they've given you. But here's the thing. Revenge. Nah, it's not your job. Not anymore. It's not about sinking to their level. It's about rising above the chaos they've tried to pull you into. It's about growing, becoming something they could never even dream of. Victory is silent but undeniable. It doesn't scream for attention. It doesn't need the world to know. The true power, it's in your growth, your evolution. While they're stuck in their petty games, you're becoming unstoppable, unbreakable. You're climbing higher, focusing on what matters you. Let them scream. Let them crash against the walls they built for themselves. You're too busy forging your own path, too busy building a future that's free from their poison. Because here's the truth. Karma's already at work. It doesn't need your help. It doesn't need you to lift a finger. All you have to do is keep walking your path and watch as everything they've done to you comes back on them tenfold. They wanted you to fall, but you didn't. You're stronger now, better. And when you rise above the chaos, you'll see the one thing they'll never have: peace. You'll know that victory doesn't need a fight. It doesn't need a shout. It just needs silence and time. Rise above it. Let them burn in the fire they started. You're too busy becoming untouchable. Victory is silent, but undeniable. Pain. It's something we all face. Something that touches us all in one way or another. It's a force, a weapon. And for too long, you've let it break you. But let me tell you something, pain isn't your enemy. Nah, it's your ally. You've been knocked down, you felt the weight of the world pushing you to the edge. You've been betrayed, hurt, abandoned. But here's the thing. Every bruise, every scar, it's not a sign of weakness. It's proof that you're still here, still standing. And that's your strength. Resilience isn't built in the easy times, it's forged in the fire. You want to know what true strength is? It's not about avoiding the storms. It's about learning how to stand in the rain and keep moving forward, no matter how fierce the wind blows. Use your pain as fuel. You heard me, don't bury it. Don't let it consume you. Take it, shape it, and turn it into something that drives you. Every wound, every hurt, every moment you thought would break you, it can all be turned into wisdom. Wisdom that will make you unbreakable. Because the truth is, pain isn't the end. It's the beginning. It's the fire that forges the warrior. And you've been through enough to know what you're made of. Don't waste that. Don't waste the lessons you've learned in the darkest times. Turn your wounds into wisdom. Use every single ounce of that pain to become better, stronger, smarter. And when the world comes at you again, and you'll look it in the face and say, I'm ready. You've got what it takes. And now it's time to turn all that hurt into something they'll never see coming. Turn your wounds into wisdom. Let them guide you to the strength you never knew you had. Chaos, pain, suffering. Most people fear it. They run from it. They hide behind distractions, pretending it doesn't exist. But not you, not us. Nah, we embrace it. We walk into the storm and let it change us. Let it shape us. You see, in the chaos, there is power, real power. The kind that doesn't come from pretending everything is fine. The kind that comes when you face your deepest fears, your darkest pain, and say, bring it on, because when you do, when you face the fire, you don't just survive. You burn brighter than you ever thought possible. Take me, for example. I've been knocked down, torn apart, betrayed. But I didn't stay down. Nah. I used it. I used every betrayal, every wound, every moment of pain to fuel my rise. And now I am invincible. It's the dark side that gives us the strength we need. You want to be invincible? Embrace the darkness. Let it swallow you whole and transform you into something the world can't break. When you stop running from your pain, when you stop fearing the chaos, you become the very thing that can never be destroyed. You see, pain doesn't make you weak. It's the weapon you've been searching for. And when you let it fuel your transformation, when you let it shape you into something unrecognizable, you'll become untouchable, unbreakable, fearless. Even in the darkest corners, power awaits those who dare to find it. It's hiding there, waiting for you to step into the shadows and claim it as your own. And when you do, you'll never look back. Embrace the chaos. Embrace the dark side. And you'll become the power you've always needed. You've been through hell, haven't you? They tried to break you. They pushed you down. They laughed at your pain, your struggles. But now it's time for you to rise, to become the force they never saw coming. Watch them. Watch as those who doubted you, who manipulated you, who tried to tear you apart, watch them crumble under their own weight. They thought they could crush you, control you, but they never understood the power you were hiding. Now, karma is coming for them, and it's beautiful. Let karma work. You don't need to lift a finger. You've already won. All you need to do now is stand back and watch as they fall apart. Let them feel what you felt. Let them experience the consequences of their own actions. And you'll be stronger. You'll be untouchable. Because you didn't just survive, you transformed. You became something they could never defeat. Now, it's your turn to rise. The world won't know what hit it. So go ahead, take your power, and let them crumble. Ready to unleash your ultimate power. Stay tuned. You won't want to miss what comes next. Your rise is just beginning.